Big vibes. Stay blessed to say this. It's your boy BLKFinesse. Now we're going to actually do a reaction review to Tyrone Magnus's review to Rise of the Beast. I just recently went to go watch Transformers this past weekend. Maybe I think it was Thursday. It was Friday or something like that. In my opinion, it was a really good movie. Like, don't shoot me because I'm not part of the generations where Transformers was really out. But I think, in my opinion, that jumped to top 3. It was a really good movie. I liked the storyline. I liked the action. The action was the action didn't really start pulling up until maybe towards the end, but it was cool. It was cool. But I don't want to spoil it for people who didn't see it, but I want to see what, Tyrone thought.
You are about to witness an epic Tyrone Magnus
reaction. Let's see what you got to say, my guy. What you got to say? Hey.
At least it wasn't woke. Oh, man. So, the rumors all that you heard weren't true. So, we good to go there. I don't know where to start. I'm going to talk. You guys love to hear me talk and to speak my mind.
Yeah, I get it. I understand, bro. I understand.
Without fear, till all are one. So, there is a mid-credit scene. There is nothing at the end. There's a mid-credit scene that sets up a crossover with another franchise.
Right.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
Now, let me see what stuck out in my mind. The comedy. The comedy is that Michael Bay-ish comedy, and it was driving me nuts. I was just sitting there the whole time like this. And I'm a Michael Bay fan. However, even his fans sometimes have an issue with his brand of comedy, and it was very similar to what it had a similar feel to other movies in certain ways. And I chuckled twice, and I mean chuckled like that. Chuckled twice in the whole movie, and there's a lot of comedy. Now, one thing I will tell you about myself, I am a hardcore G1 fan.
Uh-oh.
There were people laughing in the theater. Okay? So, look, I don't know if there's a generational gap in entertainment here, or I was just different.
Well, I wouldn't say it was generational. I just think it's the fact that it's just, some people just laugh at little things. Like, some people just think some things is funny. To other people, it's not that funny. I'm not gonna lie. I myself didn't laugh too much because I get the comedy. Like, I get the joke. I understand what they're trying to do. But, it just, some things just wasn't that funny. But it was a good comedy. It's not to say that we, ha, but, it's not that deep. But, it was funny. It just wasn't hilarious.
A lot of you guys trust me because I'm going to tell you the truth about how I feel, okay? So, we pretty much know what the story is. I mean, look, the Autobots and the Maximals get together. They got to take care of Scorch, Unicron, the rest of the minions, you know what I mean? And basically they're fighting over another key of sorts for something. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you just minimizing it?
I would like to say that, like a lot of other fans, Bumblebee's opening scene is one of the greatest, if not the greatest live action, even though we know it's all CGI, you know what I mean, stick with me here, live action scene of all the Transformers movies, period, point blank. Nothing beats that. They did it G1. Everyone looked like they did from the cartoon. It was perfect. For the most part.
Uh-oh.
I don't know why they change these characters like this. And they end up giving us these stupid versions of them that don't make no sense.
Yikes.
Wheeljack, Scorch didn't even look like Scorch. He kind of, just slightly, maybe looks like Scorch.
So here's the thing about generational cartoons that people grew up on. They're never going to be exactly like we expect them to be because, for example, I grew up on cartoons like Naruto, Avatar, different things like One Piece, but those are not really within the American franchise, and I understand. I know most of y'all's generation is Avengers, Transformers, DC Universe because y'all grew up on that. And with our case, we were just like the movie The Last Airbender. We were a little upset because it didn't seem like how it was supposed to be. You know, and the same thing with Transformers. When it comes to cartoons, they try to make it so realistic that they completely forget how things are supposed to go. Like they'll just get rid of the entire storyline because there's so many different universes. So if that makes sense, but I don't know. Like I understand his frustration of butchering the crap out of what people are supposed to look like. You know.
There were certain other characters in there that didn't look like. Of course, Mirage doesn't look like Mirage, and and don't give me that whole Indy cars aren't street legal thing. It's a movie. They have military vehicles that aren't street legal driving down the streets. I don't want to hear that. Okay, Mirage was very.
A Mirage.
He was somewhat likable, but he was loud, and you know what word I'm looking for. He's just like, he was too much. He was too much. Prime was Prime. Okay? Prime was the best thing about the whole movie. His best thing. Every time he spoke, every time he fought, every time he did something, Prime was the best thing about the whole movie. As a matter of fact, all of the fights, all of the scenes with the robots are the best thing about the movie. I've always been one of those fans who did not care about the humans that rhymed. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Bars. In the G1 series, yeah, we got Spike and his dad, but and they were likable, but nobody really cared like that. It was all about Optimus and the Autobots versus Megatron and the Decepticons, and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't they give us a movie where it's on Cybertron or it's all about the robots? They might have to spend some extra money, more CGI, all this other stuff.
Yeah,
but if they do it right, like that opening scene of Bumblebee, that's money.
Yeah.
You know I'm right.
Yeah, so, that's going to take a while for them to make.
Yeah, he was obnoxious. That's the word I was looking for. Now, considering Unicron's in the movie, considering Scorch is in the movie, there were 3 other villains that did not appear once. I won't say what that is when you go see the movie. One major character you would have expected to see. I'll see about it. Didn't care about the humans at all whatsoever. One thing about Shia LaBeouf, though, Shia LaBeouf made Sam likable and funny. And when I first saw the movie, in the theaters, I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to like this because I'd rather just see the robots fighting and talking. Shia actually ended up working out for me as a fan. These characters didn't work. It just didn't work.
I mean, I get it. Essentially, it's because of the fact that Transformers is specifically a robots movie or robots series or show. So to add humans into that, it kind of throws everything off, which is understandable because at this point, the robots aren't really fighting to their full potential because they're fighting to protect now. So it's not really fight to the death. It's just really just to protect the humans as they're staying on the planet that they're trying to get home from. Now, in my opinion, I think they're a little bit off as far as the voices as the humans. Like, I don't know why I feel like some of the voices didn't match. Like, for example, don't shoot me, this is not the bash or anything, but the girl, for some reason, they didn't match her audio with how it's supposed to sound in the movie. I don't know if it was a little different with the dude. Like, it sounded like his audio matched the Transformers, but hers just like very pale and off. That makes sense. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but the girl sounded so pale compared to talking to the robots. So, like, she just wasn't talking as if she was talking to them. Like, she was just talking to an open space. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just, they chose to leave the voice natural, or the CGI was off or something, but it just seemed like her voice didn't match the movie. That's just my opinion. Like, the movie was great. Like I said, it was top 3, in my opinion, because I'm not part of that generation where people grew up in Transformers to where they can really critique how the movie is, but I feel like the voices didn't match. So,
I'm not saying I didn't like them, but, it's one of those things where why do they always seem to think that you gotta throw humans in the mix? Like, why? Why? Is it because you think we need something to relate to? We already relate to the Autobots and the Decepticons because we've been watching them for years. We understand them. We don't need the humans whatsoever. We never have, as a matter of fact. But they tend to always think that's what we need. Do they put them in there to cut on the budget? It's like, we need some live action people, because this CGI is going to be $1 billion movie if we do a whole CGI.
Yeah, you got to pay them animators. You got to pay them animators.
Unicron's voice wasn't memorable like Orson Welles. I know Orson Welles was sick when he did it, and they used a lot of sound effects to make him sound intimidating. But that voice is still in my head. I can hear it now. Welcome, Megatron. I can still hear it. His voice wasn't memorable. It didn't work for me. It wasn't bad voice acting for none of the characters.
See, that's like no different generations.
I thought the acting in the movie was good. Good to fair, depending on the situation. And the special effects were good. Good to great for the most part. I really liked RC. Really liked Prime. I liked Primal. Primal was badass.
He was.
Primal was badass.
He very was. Very much was.
And the Maximals were cool. Scorch and his minions, and they always do something with the Decepticons where they make them look like extra evil. That doesn't work for me. Why could you could have gave us everything, G1 CGI versions, and I'd have been. You know how much I'd have been praising this. You know what I mean, for at least that part. They would have definitely got you.
This is so hilarious, yo. I feel like they're gonna do that with us, like in my generation, growing up, and they actually make movies about our childhood, shows and movies and stuff. Guys, the way he's just describing it, he just seems so triggered because a lot of the stuff isn't how it's supposed to be, because they just completely butchered how it used to look in the cartoons. Like, I'm just they came out with a Mario movie. I'm sure that's really not our generation. That's like theirs, or maybe a little bit older, but the fact that they're just now coming out with stuff like that, it's just hilarious to me. Like, Sonic and Mario was before that. Honestly, Sonic and Mario was like the 80s, 90s maybe. But in DC Universe and all that stuff, those were like 70s, 80s going up. And then Mario and Sonic got 80s, 90s. Then you got Naruto and all that 90s and early 2000s and stuff like that. So it's just funny to me because the moment I get older, I'm going to complain too because of the way these cartoons are getting butchered from movies, because they want to make it look so realistic and have everything live action because they need actors instead of just leaving the voice actors by themselves. But then again, I understand because the CGI is it's expensive, so it's funny.
With me, I thought the movie was directed well, but between the comedy and not really getting as much as I wanted as a G1 fan, it didn't work for me like that. I'm telling you all, as Transformers fans, go to a matinee. I think it's worth seeing, but go to a matinee. Don't pay full price, okay? I don't know what else to say. I'm just, and there was people all cheering, and at the end of the movie when you get the mid-credit scene where they set up the crossover franchise, I didn't even care.
Tyrone is just...
I wasn't happy, you know what I mean, with what I got. I don't think it's
Tyrone,
no
bro.
of a movie, but, it just didn't work for me like that. So I'm giving it 2 out of 5. Woo!
Wow.
As a Transformer fan, if you're a fan, you gotta see it. Mm-hmm. But anything else, just callbacks to certain things. There's a little bit of fan service in there. Okay. But anyone else that has never really watched the movies or don't care for the movies, I don't think they're gonna like this. Okay, I loved the first movie. Really liked the third movie. The second movie, I'm an outlier. I liked it literally only because they made Prime a badass in it. In the first movie, they kicked his ass. In the second movie, they made him a badass. That rhyme later play the game bars. And they had him doing some real cool stuff, you know what I mean? I just love Prime that much. That's how much Prime means to me. He made the movie for me, even though a lot of people hated the second movie. I liked it all because of Prime. Even all the other dumb hijinks in it, I still liked it because of Prime. So I liked 1, 2, and 3. 4 and 5. Bumblebee was okay with me. The first scene. I bought Bumblebee for the first scene. That's it. Bumblebee was okay with me. And then this is just 2 out of 5. I'm sorry if I brought bad news to any of you. And
I mean, you're a fan.
I don't know what else to say.
We can't be mad at you.
I'm a fan just like you guys, and a lot of you say you only come to see me because you agree with every review that I do after you see the movie. You're like, this dude was telling the truth. Some of you think I'm crazy. That's fine. Don't disrespect me in the comments, though. You won't be here no more in the comments. But, yeah. Everyone's allowed to have their opinion. It just is what it is. If you love it, that's great. Peter Cullen, you're the man. Post comments down below. Let me know what you all thought of you. All
right, so here's my input a little bit. Okay, so like he said, everyone is entitled to the opinions. Now, I think the problem is a lot of people have a habit of trying to look at reviews first before going to watch it, and then go in with that expectation that the movie's not going to be good. I believe, yes, like Tyrone says, to watch it, you have to watch it first. Everyone's going to have an opinion of how the movie is, but if you go in already having that mindset that the movie's not good because someone else says it, then you're going to automatically believe that person was right. Now, I'm not saying Tyrone was wrong, because we're 2 different generations and we're 2 different people. I believe out of all the movies, because I never watched a cartoon, out of all the movies, this one was my top 3, because there's only 7 movies. Okay, I like Revenge of the Fallen, I like Dark Moon, and then I like this one. Everything else was just a bit off to me for some reason. I don't know why. Bumblebee, I wasn't a fan of Bumblebee, and that's just my opinion, because I feel like some things were just missing. Like, a lot of it was just, I don't know, it just seemed a little bit boring for some reason. I don't know. That just might be me. But the first movie, it's okay. Then you got Age of Extinction. It threw me off. Like I said, it's because I'm not part of that generation to understand what's going on. So, like you said, you have to watch it. If you're a fan, you gotta watch it. And I'm gonna be doing the same thing when my childhood movies and shows come out in actual CGI, and that's literally how my parents and stuff like that are reacting as far as DC and Marvel. They try to go based off the storyline. A lot of things aren't part of the story. Things aren't going to make sense. So it kind of alters how you're going to like a movie. So it makes sense. Comment, like, subscribe down below. It's your boy BLKFinesse out.